I don't know what I'm doing, but I'ma pretend like I do for you. Transition. Once I know how to do transitions, because right now I do not. Anyways, so welcome back to my channel. I don't even know what accent that was. I was trying to do British and then I was trying to yawn and none of those kind of did. And then whatever that was. Stadio. Well, let's talk about Madeline Miller. I know this is a long time coming and everybody's probably going to be like, have you been living under a rock? To talk about this, like how many years later that it was published? No, I haven't been living under a rock. Although I did read Song of Achilles a little bit later than probably most people did. A hardcover was published in 2012. So the one that I have, so it's been a decade, but we're gonna talk about it now as a gay man and my opinions about it. So Song of Achilles follows, obviously, Achilles, what your calcaneal tendon is named after, aka your Achilles tendon by your foot. Sorry, I like anatomy and books. I'm a human being, which he isn't really a god. He's a demigod because his mother is a god. Like she's like some sea bad bee, you know? And his intertwinement with Patroclus, which is his boyfriend. And let's all be real. We all know who the top and the bottom of the relationship is. You know, Achilles is very stoic. He doesn't really seem to have much of a personality. It's almost like a jock. Like you meet them, I don't know, let's say sports, football, hole-in-one, all that. Let's say you have a football player, amazing body, super athletic, or like let's talk back in the day like the gladiator. Super hot, very athletic, everybody wants them, they're like the greatest warrior alive. Nobody can beat them, etc., etc. But like, do they really have a personality? I don't know. Is being hot a personality? Maybe. I mean, is me reading books my personality? Maybe. But I am more than the dead trees I read that make me hallucinate. Let's be real. So, reading a book is literally staring at mutilated pieces of trees with inscriptions on them and vividly hallucinating for minutes to hours, maybe days if you're a slow reader like me. Anyways, gladiators, hot guy. I think that's what Achilles is. He's a power bottom. Like, let's be real. We all knew he was a power bottom. Patroclus is his tall daddy, power top. But surprisingly, in the bedroom, and this is a good thing and an interesting thing that we have to talk about in the gay community. Just because you see somebody super tall, muscular, and the other person short and not as muscular, or just personality-wise, like the dominant person outside of the bedroom, like in your day-to-day life, doesn't mean they're going to be the top. Or vice versa, the other one that's more submissive outside is going to be the bottom. Because here, the personality-wise, which maybe has to do with their upbringing and definitely have to do with their status, Achilles being a demigod, Patroclus being more like of a helper boy. It's been a while since I read it, but we're going to talk about, not plot. This isn't going to have spoilers. Just know that towards the end, this book destroyed me, but not in the way that A Little Life did. If this book destroyed me, A Little Life took my remains, pulverized me, threw me into a cauldron, lit me on fire, threw me over the edge, hit the bottom of the ocean, dramatic explosion like in a cartoon, alien abduction, took me into outer space, asteroid hit me, explodes, a black hole sucks me. That's what A Little Life did. This destroyed me in a different way, not as dramatically. That really spiraled. You know, maybe I should be a writer for like shows. Anyways, Achilles, power bottom, Patroclus, power top in the bedroom. But outside of that, clearly Achilles is like the more dominant, revered, maybe more seen in that light if you really don't know what's going on. Like if you're reading between the lines, or actually just some of the lines outside of their like encounters in the bedroom. Obviously, if you didn't figure it out by my rambles about tops and bottoms at this point, let's play a game. Take a shot every time I say top or I say bottom. Trashed. Personality-wise, in real life, I think Achilles is the more dominant and Patroclus is the most submissive. And then in the bedroom, it's flip-flop. And if you want to fight me about it, hashtag, we can have an intelligible conversation and argue about it, but you're going to lose because as a gay man, I know how this kind of works. And it's not usually that black and white. But I thought it was a very beautifully written book, to be honest. Madeline Miller has this way to just write very poetically, but very seamlessly throughout the pages. So it's almost like you're reading a non-rhyming poem with no like structure, because obviously like this whole thing isn't in like just multiple redundant haikus or iambic pentameter or something. but she just has this way to just captivate you. I really like Song of Achilles. Like, I gave it 5 stars. Like I said, is it worth the hype in my intro to this channel video? I think it is. I think it's very beautifully written. And it actually won her, obviously, the Orange Prize, which is one of the book prizes for women in fiction. There's a lot of different, like, there's like the Hugo, the Nebula Award. There's a whole lot. I can make a whole video on it too, because I've rabbit holed into seeing like what prizes are and which, who's won what, like in what years. And I've actually bought some books based on like what's won prizes and reading like what the premise of the book is, but that's a different conversation. But Song of Achilles, I really, can you tell I have undiagnosed ADHD? Like that little, that little dog from Up where he's just like, squirrel! And then he like, that's me. I really like Song of Achilles, Song of Achilles. Song of Achilles, I think you guys should definitely read it if you haven't yet. Obviously it came out a very long time ago, and I actually only read it 2021, last year. It was beautiful. It had me teared up. I wasn't violently sobbing like some other books. Like, I thought A Little Life was gonna make me violently sob. It did have me tear up, laugh within the same chapter. That should have won the National Book Award. It was a finalist though. But Song of Achilles was very great. And I love like mythology retellings. And just because I like this one so much, but even more so Circe, a lot of people, this could be a whole nother video too, but I really liked her writing here. I actually enjoyed Circe more. And like Circe is straight. Achilles is a homosexual like me. But either way, it's very beautifully written, and I honestly think Circe should have also won the Woman Prize in Fiction, but I guess maybe it was just giving Madeline Miller too much power, if she would have both. But I'm looking forward to her next book, Persephone, which has to do with hell, the underworld. Sign me up, because we all know, see you there. Kidding. And because of Song of Achilles and me liking Circe so much, it's actually gotten me into looking into a lot of more mythology retellings. I read Ariadne as well, which I really loved, a lot more than people usually put it around the like 3.5 low 4s in rating, but I thought it was like a 4.7, 4.6, very strong 4 high up there, and I still gave it a 5 because in Goodreads is what I'm talking about in terms of ranking. I'll link that at the bottom so y'all can follow me too. I thought it was very good as well. But if you haven't read Song of Achilles, it's very beautifully written. It's a beautiful plot. It's an LGBTQ plus character as the protagonist. But also, like, back in the day, that wasn't, like, if you want to get into history, that wasn't seen as a bad thing. Or as, like, an abnormal thing, I should say, instead. There wasn't very heteronormative ways back then of, like, marriage and blah, blah, blah. At least not as much as nowadays. And this was normal sometimes for guys to just either have a wife, but still like lay with other men, or just lay with other men in general. It was the time to live, but also they didn't have toothbrushes, so I don't know how they made out. But they did have Milk of the Pulpy. If you've seen Game of Thrones, that sounds like a great time. Anyways, that's my little blurb on Song of Achilles, and a little bit like insight into Circe and like other stuff that I'm into reading, but I really liked it. People were like, oh, is it overhyped? I'm like, I mean, overhyped is when something is like hyped so much more than it's actually worth, like more than its merit. But I think its merit is very deserving. It's written great. It's a story that we kind of know, but also a retelling. So there's like twists and a new way to tell it, to guide you through it. Obviously, LGBTQ plus representation is very important and very much needed nowadays. So yeah, that is my rant. Thank you for sticking throughout this video with me. If you have, if you found me even mildly entertaining, please click the like and subscribe button in the bottom, and then comment that you subscribe. That'll really help me grow this channel a lot. And then you can hear me rant about the next book. Maybe we can find some other Dom Tops, hashtag Dom Bottoms. That would be a really fun book club. So go check it out. It's still vividly portrayed in like Barnes & Nobles or bookstores or anything, and rightfully so. Circe is usually right by it as well. She also has this other book, very small, it's like a short story. It's like, what, $12? But it's like 50, 60, 70 pages. I haven't read it yet, I'm sure it's lovely. But like $12? It's a little hardback too. That is a commitment. Actually, I have this book here. The reason I bring this up is like, it's actually thinner than this. And this is like 150 pages. So it's maybe like half of this. It's like 160. So like half of this, like 8. Haven't read it yet, but if you have, let me know if it's good. Because $12, that is, I've gotten some of these thicker bad boys back here for less. Madeline Miller, I know you won the prize and you're a New York Times bestselling author and your writing is lovely and you deserve rightfully so, but can I at least get 100 pages? There's an idea. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe for more so you guys can see my next shenanigans on my YouTube channel. Zvidanya!